Katherine Bleish is with me. And where are you from?
I'm from the state of Missouri.
Okay, Missouri. And how did you get connected with this?
Well, actually...
Tell people, because a lot of people don't know. I mean, how does the whole delegate process work?
Well, the delegate process is interesting. Basically, you sign up on the website to apply as a delegate, and once that's approved by the state coordinator, there was an election process that took place. Now, I've been involved with the Continental Congress planning since relatively early on, as I was invited to the Jekyll Island project, where we sat down and we discussed whether or not an event like this would be appropriate and if the leaders in the movement would support it. And everyone came together and said that they would. Mm-hmm. And then the planning processes really went underway.
Cool. What's your hot button issue?
My hot button issue, I have several. My biggest one would probably be fusion centers. I've been fighting fusion centers in the state of Missouri.
What's a fusion center?
Well, for anyone who heard about the MIAC report, which stands for the Missouri Information Analysis Center, it was a report that was released last February to all Missouri law enforcement, stating that people who voted for Ron Paul, Bob Barr, Chuck Baldwin, people who were pro-life, pro-gun, that these sorts of people should be considered threats to law enforcement. Now, that MIAC, that Missouri Information Analysis Center, that is a fusion center. There are actually 3 in the state of Missouri. There's one in Kansas City, one in St. Louis, and one in Jefferson City, which is our state capital. And the one in the state capital is the center who issued this report. Now, what these fusion centers do, just as their name implies, they fuse information and intelligence together. Their mission statement is to fight terror, so they are a product of the war on terror. They became a policy of the Department of Homeland Security in 2005. They were actually given legislative backing by Congress in 2007 with the 9/11 Act, a piece of legislation I had never heard of until this year. And at that point, they said that every state shall work on creating an agency called a fusion center where they will bring local, state, national, and sometimes even international information data together, fuse it in an effort to identify potential terror threats. Mm-hmm. So that is what a fusion center is, and I've been working awfully hard in opposition.
I've never even heard of such a thing, so I like to keep up on things.
Many people have not. They are one issue that definitely has flown under the radar with regards to the liberty movement. Homeland Security has done an excellent job of infiltrating and militarizing our local and state law enforcement in the name of the war on terror. And so basically what has happened is a nationalization through the back door of our local law enforcement. The Fusion Center in Missouri is 28% funded by Homeland Security. They have 1 full-time Department of Homeland Security analyst and 2 part-time FBI analysts that sit on the staff. Now, interestingly enough, the Seattle, Washington Fusion Center is the only fusion center in the union that has a person who's on the staff who works for a private corporation. They actually have a staff member of Boeing who is paid and funded by the Fusion Center to sit on the staff, and the FBI's website says, quote, because private industry owns 80% of the critical infrastructure, they need access to fusion center intelligence. This is horrifying because the type of information that these fusion centers are dealing with is everything from a traffic stop. All traffic stops are run through the fusion centers, your license plates, your driver's licenses. And the state of Oklahoma, activists have obtained copies of memorandums of understanding between the Oklahoma Highway Patrol and the country of Germany to share driver's license information. So these fusion centers are literally sharing personal private data with other countries as well as private corporations. Big problem. Mm-hmm. Big problem.
Yeah. So that's some of the stuff that's being hashed out here, and I assume you're talking about those things in your caucuses and committees.
Yes.
And all the different things. And What is your hope at the end of this to walk away from here with in your hands? What are you hoping to walk away in your hands with?
I want to walk away with a plan of action that has been approved by grassroots representatives, such as those delegates down here at the Continental Congress, something that we can bring to the American people and say, here is a solution. We understand the problems, all of us do. We understand our country is in a major crisis, and people are hungry for solutions. They are hungry for strategy, rallying and shaking our fists in the air. It does a lot to energize us and bring us energy and community, but when it comes to actually breaking down the barriers that have been placed around us by the federal government, by the powers that be, we have to think strategically and we have to work together, and an action plan for the American people that they can take in their hands and get some things done. That is what I want, and I think we're making very good headway toward that.
Good.